Memorial Day Monday, Harv. It's a big day today, man.
Yep.
And we got to get, I mean, I know many of us have the day off, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but we're going to talk today about football. We're going to talk about Cowboys content, specifically Asim Richards. We do have a special guest today, so let's go ahead and welcome him aboard. We got here Ali Jawad.
How are
Yes,
you guys?
sir.
Awesome. Thank
That's
y'all for having me on.
That's how we do it, Ali. I mean, this is how it is, man. So for those that don't know Ali, Ali, I mean, everybody knows by now. Me and Harv, we're from the same hometown. We graduated the same year from school, all that great stuff. But Ali, I met Ali back in 2020. He's a part of the East West Football. You can catch his great articles there. I know he's put up a series of articles recently. So definitely go check that out. East West Football .com, right? The logo looks like that. You could just Google East West Football and you'll find it. But Ali, give us a little bio of you so people can know more or less. And I mean, you've
Yeah,
you've done
no,
you've done quite a
absolutely.
few, right?
No, absolutely. No, I mean, obviously, as Jerry said, met him back in 2020, joined, but a lot of opportunities have come since then. Back in 2020, I was working for the football program at the University of Houston. Graduated there in 2021. Held a position prior to that, graduating with the Houston Texans as well. COVID year. That was first year working in the NFL, so that was definitely a memorable experience, obviously. And when I left Houston, I was at the University of North Texas. Spent a season with their football program. Great year back in 2021. First experience getting to travel and everything within a program. And then the big break came in. I was with the Dallas Cowboys last season, and I mean, just a dream come true of an opportunity. You get to be a part of the team you grew up cheering for, and the team that's like right here in your backyard. So really enjoyed that last year, and certainly hoping for many more great opportunities down the road. But hey, I'm just excited to be on here with you guys. So.
We appreciate it. And you are from the Dallas area. But before we get into Asim Richards, have you please explain to us the day today, right? Because just so we understand what Memorial Day truly is.
So yeah, man. I think at the end of the day, some of us sometimes, in daily lives, we take things for granted. But just so everybody understands and gets the feeling of it, Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the U.S. and it's honoring and mourning the U.S. military who died while serving the United States Armed Forces. So that's kind of what it's been like that since 1970, and it's basically we do it it's observed every May 30th or the last Monday of every May. So yeah, man, I mean, it's a big deal to me. Obviously I've lost some friends, but I always try to live every day like it's my last, just because you never know when it could be taken from you. But no, man, yeah, happy to be here, happy to be on the show. I'm excited for Ali, can't wait to get things kicking off. But yeah, that's it.
Appreciate that, Harv. I know it's hard, right? Because everybody, we say happy, but I mean, I understand, it's not, there's nothing bad, but it's just,
No.
I mean, once you understand exactly like what you said, I mean, it's for those that give up that right for us to live this life that we have, right? But definitely, look, the topic today is Asim Richards. We've been doing a breakdown per breakdown. Ali, before we get, I mean, this is kind of your first time on and you're live, right? So, what do you think overall of the Cowboys off season and of the draft class?
No, I'm definitely pleased with what I've seen in the offseason. I think when you go back to free agency and that period, acquiring guys like Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, those are players that I think the Cowboys need. They fill in big needs for them. Those are veteran players. I mean, Brandon Cooks, you talk about, the presence he brings. He's a veteran. Uh, there were issues last year at wide receiver outside of CeeDee Lamb. I mean,
True.
Michael Gallup cut him some slack coming back from that torn ACL is always brutal, for any player, but he wasn't really able to get in full rhythm. Hopefully that will happen this year, obviously, with him being a lot healthier. But say Gallup were to go down, Brandon Cooks can step in. And I kind of think of it like we don't have a 1-2-3. We have a 1-2-2. We have two number twos.
Yeah.
Cooks and Gallup can both be a number two option. Stephon Gilmore, I think you now have an exciting duo there with Diggs and Gilmore. So excited to see what those two guys can do. I know Trayvon Diggs has been learning a lot from him since he arrived. And then you look at the draft. I mean, I don't think you look at this draft class for the Cowboys and you say, oh man, we got, flash and excitement. I think it's more so they feel good about their roster and they picked a bunch of players that can fill in different needs. And I think it's a message being sent to the fans that, hey, we're ready to compete and we were just a few pieces away, or we just need to fill in a couple spots and let's get ready for that 2023 season.
That's been a big debate for us, right, Harvard? Is Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones finally all in, right? I mean, that was if we go back to November, December when we kicked off the Cowboy Cast, that was one of the things is when will the Cowboys sell out, right? Or sell the farm, so to say, or whatever you want to call it, right? Just to get to a Super Bowl, but they definitely have been making some noise. Let's get a little caught up before we get into the Fernando, he goes, right. Happy Memorial Day for all of your family members that serve this wonderful country, which we can enjoy the best sports, which is football.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. To Raw Ace. I don't think I've seen his name before.
No. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
We do have a thing here, Ali. If anybody's new, it's a new username, and they come on and they give and they put out a comment, we give them a round of applause. So,
gotcha.
You say here, who do you think is better, Dak Prescott or Trevor Lawrence? I mean,
you already know.
All Cowboys Nation against the wall. You're backing us up against the wall here.
Yeah.
Ace. I mean,
I would say this: Trevor Lawrence is just a different talent, man.
Yeah.
And I think with Trevor, he's still relatively young, so we still haven't seen him hit his ceiling in the NFL. I think with Dak Prescott, I think he's been in one system. With Dak, it's completely different. Two different quarterbacks here. You're talking about two separate different quarterbacks. I mean, Harv, you broke this first than anybody. I mean, what did you say about Dak? That people don't really take. I mean, that so many people take advantage. They don't give enough credit to Dak for this.
I mean, I keep saying it over again, but I think he was thrown into a system where I think he needed maybe 2 or 3 more years to see. In my opinion, you would have seen this version of Dak year 2 or 3 if he sits behind Tony Romo. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. He got thrust into the position and he had to learn as he went. And he wasn't your traditional quarterback where he's a throwback pocket kind of quarterback. And he had to learn those things. So the Dak you see now should have been the Dak we should have seen 2 or 3 years when he came out. But Trevor Lawrence is already there. Like when he came into the league, he had the mechanics, the throwing, all that. Like, so it's that you can't compare those two, man. It's a huge difference between quarterbacks.
It's huge comparisons. Well said, Harp. Happy Memorial Day, my guys. Adam, let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, for live. I love it.
Yeah.
He's Adam's been with us since
day one, man.
Day one. Ali, he's been. Adam says he's been watching Matzi highlights, and I'm ready to kill the quarterback sneaks, man. Specifically, he's talking about Jalen Hurts, right? I think that's what this draft. When we look at this draft class, it looks like they are looking to get stronger to stop teams within the division, specifically Jalen Hurts and that sneaky little quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I'm surprised the NFL did not review that, because even Sean Payton said, I'm going to be running that play every down with Russell Wilson. I mean, that's ridiculous. Dwight Thrasher, if this year is a bust, what's next? Ooh. Me and Javier have already said this. Javier, do you want to chime in on that one?
I think some people are gonna lose some jobs, man. And unfortunately, I don't, in this type of organization, the NFL period, who are the most people that carry records with them? And that's the quarterback and the head coach. Yeah. Nobody else carries records, man. So,
and we saw more like when you say quarterbacks, Derek Carr being a prime example. Ali, what do you think on that? On that, what do you think? What would be next if this year's a bust?
Yeah, for me, and I'll say this: if it's a repeat of the last 2 years and we're knocked out before, let's say, the divisional round, I think that even is still a bust. At least to the eyes of Jerry Jones and the front office and all. But yeah, jobs could be lost. I mean, it seems like at the end of every season, Mike McCarthy's name has been floating around, whether he's going to be back or not. As far as what they could potentially do next, I mean, there's a reason why you kept Dan Quinn, and I'm not going to sit here and say he's the next guy. I mean, this defense has another dominating season. We're not the only team that's trying to convince him, hey, be the head coach. There's going to be other teams coming in, but again, you kept him for a reason. So it wouldn't surprise me if he is the guy that is next. What he's done, I think. Notice, like when we brought him on a couple of years ago, I mean, we started winning again too. I mean, he has been the difference maker in our organization, and I can tell y'all firsthand, seeing how he coaches that defense at practice, it's impressive to watch. I'll tell you all that. The guys really feed off of his energy. But also, yeah, you point fingers to the quarterback. What's next there? Well, the Cowboys did move $29 million of his $31 million base salary, restructured it. So you're pretty locked into that contract. There's always a saying, though, in the league, if they want to get rid of you, they'll find a way. They will find a way. But, I know Jerry Jones, that front office, they're committed to Dak Prescott. So quarterback is a little tougher to assess. But as far as, what could be next in line, it wouldn't surprise me if Dan Quinn is that guy.
Man, and we've been hearing it, man. We've been hearing it for quite some time. Dan Quinn is next, and he might be able to bring in his own quarterback, and his own offensive guy. And it's hard because Jerry Jones is 80. He's pushing 81 this year. So I mean, I think his patience is gained. I think he's realizing that he's no longer in his 50s or 60s anymore. That part. Adam says, anyone hate on the Cowboys? I'll get them for you guys. I love about it always has our back. Ultra Cowboy Dak went to the perfect situation, loaded offensive line, and then had weapons. Hoodlum,
Let's go, Hoodlum.
Anybody named Jalen is Butte, right? I guess we could say Butte, right? Because there's a Keyshawn Butte
in
New England
Patriots.
Yep.
From Hertz to Tolbert, right? What's y'all take on D Hop? Try to get him. Adam wants to know.
So everybody's been talking about this, and look, this is my take on it. So I'm for it and I'm not for it. I'm okay with not having him, and I'm okay with having him. And the only reason I say that is this: it's the NFL, and it stands for not for long. So at the end of the day, what happens if CD goes down?
It's hard.
Yeah.
So, you got to evaluate these things. And I'm sure the Cowboys are doing their due diligence and their homework to make sure that every one of these guys that gets released, McClay and the team are always good at this. Does this guy fit our scheme? Does he fit our team? What is he going to bring to the table? Will it help us? If it doesn't, and it undervalues the playtime for all the receivers underneath him, then there's no point in it. So I would think that McClay and team do their due diligence on this. And if we don't get him, we don't get him. So I'm fine either way.
What do you think, Ali?
No, I agree. It's like 50-50. We don't get him, great. Or if we get him, great. If we don't, then it is what it is. Obviously, you point to the salary cap. Can we make that work with where we are right now? But also, is there a dire need for him? I mean, obviously, you'd love to have him. The fan base would be excited. It's DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, think DeAndre Hopkins, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, Cooks, Tony Pollard. I mean, it would be an exciting group to have, but I agree as well. It's not one where, hey, bring him on in. We need him. Push for him. If we don't get him, I still think we'll be fine. I still think our offense is capable of making noise and doing what they have to do, especially when you consider now that we could see some changes to this offense too, with Mike McCarthy taking over the offense as well. So I think really it's a move that if they make it, great, but it is. I'll ask y'all: is it a move where y'all think you're trying to please the fans, or is this a move where you think like, no, we have to have it? This is the guy we must have.
I think more if you look at it, it's a move showing the entire NFL that the Cowboys are fully into making the Super Bowl run this season. I think that's what that kind of move would do. But I will tell you this: Harv gives me a hard time about it, but I really think that Jalen Tolbert, his game really models D Hop. I mean, that's who he kind of reminds me of. I want to see Tolbert, grow into his system. I'm really optimistic about him. I even want to see Simi Fahuku get some action, man. I'm excited about him too. Hoodlum says he's about to buy himself a Tesla. Wow,
don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Man, to get yourself a truck, bro. A truck always gets you over. Clay Cut, what's up, fam?
Oh man, we haven't heard from him in a while.
I know, man. You gotta turn on notifications.
Come on, Clay Cut.
You are underestimating Mike. Didn't he get rid of Kellen, the very same person that Cowboys Nation thought would be the next head coach? That's by Ultra Cowboy. I mean, it's a good point here. It's a very good point. Ultra Cowboy said Mike is not going nowhere. DQ is overrated head coach, but Cowboy fans will do Cowboy things. Look, I understand because regardless, Mike McCarthy's got us back-to-back 12-5 seasons, and if he has another similar season, like you said, I think NFC Championship is regardless of the records. I mean, at this point, I think there's a consensus, and I see it right because of the content that we put out on a daily, right, Harv? I mean, everybody says you guys need to give up with the stats and you guys need to get the wins. So I think 12-5 record is more of a statistical thing than anything. Clay Cup says D Hop doesn't really fit the scheme. Cooks is less of a player, but fits way better. Dak is the one on notice. Steven loves McCarthy. Yeah, it does feel like Steven Jones does love McCarthy.
I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those. Jerry Jones is on DQ side, and Steven Jones is on Mike McCarthy's side. It's kind of because look, Jerry Jones is the one paying the checks, man. And I'll tell you what, I don't blame him. If DQ was about to leave, I'd be like, I'll pay you $10 million to stay. I'm just saying, because you got to think, Jerry, after the disaster with was it Mike Nolan? Like, correct. You got to think, I am not letting this happen again.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Ali, what do you think? Like,
no, yeah. I mean, I don't want a guy like that getting away either. I mean, you guys recall our defense in 2020. It wasn't bad. It was historically bad. I mean, it was probably the worst defense I've ever seen in all my years watching this team was that 2020 defense. And it's not even close. For Dan Quinn to come in, and keep in mind too, like Dan Quinn wasn't linked to Mike. Like he's not from the Mike McCarthy coaching tree. This was an outside the box hire. A lot of head coaches, they're going to want the guys they want. Well, Dan Quinn coached a good defense in Atlanta. I understand where the whole, okay, you might think he's overrated. I get the whole, like, all right, in Atlanta, the offense thrived because of, well, they had Kyle Shanahan. When Shanahan left to San Fran, that offense wasn't the same. So I get maybe why some people could be hesitant about him being head coach. He's got to find a Kyle Shanahan, I guess. I mean, if that's what has to happen. But I can't let a guy like that get away. When you think about where the defense went from 2020 to 2021 in just his first season, I mean, that was a huge turnaround. And we don't get to the playoffs that season without the way that defense played. And the way a lot of those guys played. It helps when you have a guy like Michael Parsons. But, I mean, Dan Quinn, I've seen this guy work with Micah and the way he drills with him and the technique and the way he teaches Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is what he is partially because of the influence of Dan Quinn, So, no, I can't let a guy like that get away. I think that's, I don't know if there's another guy out there that we could replace him with if he left to be a head coach and sustain that level of consistency with the defense. I just think you can't fix what's not broken. Don't mess with it. No matter what, I'm doing what I can to keep Dan Quinn.
I'm with you guys too. Dan Quinn needs to stay, man. Clay Cup did want to chime in. He says, unless our players get hurt, I believe he's talking about D Hop here. He's basically a position wide receiver like Gallup, too pricey. Cooks and Gallup, they are not signing D Hop. That's Ultra Cowboy. We'll be playing D Hop up in Buffalo. Damn, that's an early prediction. Hoodlum, D Hop is not about to get a major contract. Cowboys fans keep saying you got to pay him, but I guarantee you, if you don't sign with the Cowboys, he finna sign a 1 year, $7 million watch, which we saw, right? That did happen. And then Ace is getting back to the Lawrence situation, but Lawrence is becoming the 5th or 8th best quarterback. Again, he was supposed to be the next coming of Peyton Manning. If you don't remember, that was actually his thing. Nobody said that about Dak. Dak, like we said, Dak was a RPO quarterback. If what Dallas would have done was, get in a play caller like the way the Eagles did for Jalen Hurts, we're talking about two different things. And Dak is now the second, third best quarterback in the entire NFL, like Jalen Hurts is, right? Clay Cup says, if D-Hop can make field goals, then sign him. We do need a kicker. Well,
we do need a kicker.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, have we given up on Garibay?
Man.
But
let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Hello said, this is the move you have to make these type of moves to win you championships. There is some. I mean, the teams that have made the moves last year all both ended up in the Super Bowl, right? The 49ers with McCaffrey, right. The Chiefs also making a ton of moves to bring in. I think was it Kadarius Toney first year also with them?
Correct.
Ultra Cowboy says, if people don't see the Cowboys have a Super Bowl roster, they must be a Mr. Magoo. I don't care. MG, Michael Gab, don't stop me from getting D-Hop or Tober nor Cooks. What about a Range Rover?
I'm okay with that, Hoodlum. Do not get a Tesla.
Load the clip. You don't go to war with only 2 bullets. Jeez Louise. Steven, give Jerry a Jello cup and Mike stay.
These guys are great. This is our community, man.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Adam, he says, can't wait for Buffalo matchup. Diggs on Diggs. I predict a 40 burger with a dub.
I'm telling you right now, that might be the most watched game of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's not that one, Ali, it's probably Chiefs-Eagles rematch.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I mean, I think you hit it right on the dot. Both. DQ was not getting a head coaching job this year. He saw it and he spent it. No, it looked like he was gonna go with. It looked like he was gonna go with the Broncos, man. And at the very end, I don't know what Jerry Jones did, but he got him back.
You know what Jerry Jones did?
He sweetened that contract.
He did Jerry Jones thing. Look, let me tell you something, and I'll say this every time. Jerry Jones does Jerry Jones things. That's why Will McClay is still in the building. Getting paid like a damn GM. Come on, man.
He probably said, hey, I got a yacht. I want to upgrade mine. I have a yacht. It's not going to be, it's just, I even paid for the transfer. Hello says, if we don't get to the NFC Championship, Mike will not be here. DQ will be our head coach. You can book it.
That's a consensus, man.
And I feel like Dak is on thin ice too. I mean, those two statements right there, Hillum. I think that's how all Cowboy Nations is.
See, and I'll go back to what Ali said too. And this is the hard part. I know everybody's Cowboy fans. We love the Cowboys and all this, but we got to be realistic with things, man. As much as we can say, "Yep, Dak's done," but where are you going to find somebody else? That's the thing. Like, it's hard to find elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's hard to find good quarterbacks. Like, it's not easy. And that's the hard part is, okay, we get rid of that. Who's next?
Exactly.
And you have to go through the growing pains if you get a rookie.
Exactly.
And it's hard to find a Micah Parsons too, right? Which the Cowboys have managed to do on both the Dak and Micah. Ultra Cowboy DQ gave up 10-point fourth quarter lead in the Super Bowl as DC
This
gave up
comes
25 point. Dang, we're living in the past, Ultra Cowboy.
They always bring this up, man.
And it's crazy. Third quarter lead as Falcons head coach. Those were the last 2 Super Bowl appearances by DQ. Clay Cup says OBJ cashed in more than $7 million. I think it was what was it? 1 year?
1 year,
9,
15
right?
mil.
Oh,
Well, actually, no. It was. I think it was worth up to 18 mil, but that's with incentives.
Yeah, it's double
yeah.
digits.
I was gonna say the base wasn't that much, but it's all incentivized. Is DQ the same defense coordinator without the generational talent in Micah? Ooh. I mean, he did win a Super Bowl, right? He is a Super Bowl defensive coordinator, Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. Nobody cares about Jalen Hurts. He is overrated. Finally, somebody says, let's not forget if he hurt, wouldn't have he had fumbled, they win that Super Bowl. Cut J. Lou, save $5 million. Jordan Lewis. Sean Payne was the Broncos' target. Well, no. If you notice, after that, that's when the Broncos went full in on.
Yep, because Dan Quinn backed out.
Dan Quinn backed out. Also, Adam says also can't wait for 40 Winers to rematch. Also, right? Because you're talking about the 2 most watched games. I think that the 49er Cowboy game is going to be all real. I think it's beautiful to see the 49ers become a rival again.
Absolutely.
I love it. DQ is the new Kellen. Oh, stop.
No way.
Yeah, no way.
No way.
That is the worst take ever.
No way.
Grow some cojones and move up in the first round and draft one. He's talking about a quarterback there. Hoodlum says, but Javier, the worst thing you can have is a quarterback that's good enough to win, but not good enough to take you over the top. That's the worst thing you can have. Hey, Hoodlum, there's been a lot of quarterbacks, man, especially first pick overall quarterbacks that got their first Super Bowl in their 30s and late 30s. John Elway was like 35, 36 when he won his back-to-back championship. So was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning probably
knocking on the door.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He was knocking on the door, but took a while. Yeah.
And I also go back to Dan Marino. He went, I think, his rookie year, I believe. And he never saw one again.
Yeah, never.
For as great as he was, never saw one again. So it's one of those things, man. It's hard.
And here we really love Dave Hellman. We love his work on Speak. I think he's the great balance, right? Because number one, Sam Acho is a 49er fan. Then LaShawn McCoy and Joy Taylor are both Eagle fans. You know what I'm saying? He's the only cowboy on there, but
I want to go in there and protect him, man.
Me too. But he brings great logistics. He says, hey, why don't you ever see what the Kansas City Chiefs do for Patrick Mahomes? They rebuilt his offensive line. Every time he needs an offensive weapon, they just surround him with offensive weapons. What makes him different than Dak Prescott? I mean, you're literally, even Cowboys Nation and Cowboy haters want Dak to literally have scrubs, and they want Dak just to go out there and just win a Super Bowl by himself. I mean, that's what they want. But I mean, Patrick Mahomes doesn't do it. I understand the contract situation, but that wasn't his fault. That goes back to the Joneses. They should have handled that first, man. With Dak, we be picking at 26 every damn year instead of just being trash and never getting that player we really need. I think next year, Hoodlum, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, man, that are going to be into the 20s, man.
Yep.
There's quarterbacks that were number one recruits that people have already forgotten. The one from the Gamecocks, what's his name? Rattler. I mean, that guy was number one recruit when he was coming out. Quinn Ayers, I mean, that guy's gone. He's from the Longhorns. He's gone. And Drake, of course, Caleb Williams and Drake Mayo are the two top consensus.
Yep.
So Ultra Cowboy says he won a Super Bowl with Gus Bradley's players. I knew he was gonna pull out something.
I knew he was gonna do that too, man.
I knew it too. I was gonna say, don't say Gus Bradley. Yes, it was. They wanted somebody to fix Russell. No, they didn't. No. But we've been waiting for the past 30 years. Hoodlum, you're 25.
He's never seen a Super Bowl, man. Leave him alone.
Clay Cup Javier, about cutting Dak, we can load up the roster with the money, get a vet, and draft one. I think the Cowboys kind of have a plan. Regardless, Cowboys have a plan. It's crazy. We haven't even been able to get to Asim Richards. Man,
I know.
man, I was being serious about y'all doing a meet and greet at a Cowboys game. Fellas, let's go, baby. Hey, we're
We have to do
still
that.
we're still talking about
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, we're still talking about that. Hey, we never know. We never know, man. We might have the right connections right here with Ali, man. Ultra Cowboy. Didn't Cowboy fans say Kellen was the next head coach, and now it is DQ? Cowboys have a great head coach, but the disrespect he receives is astonishing. Exactly at Clay Cup, and why isn't it hard for Mahomes to be always there? We said it because the Chiefs surround him with the right protection and playmakers. But guys, let's be honest, Dak has had more than Mahomes of Hoodlum.
Well,
Again, you're talking about an RPO guy that had to learn how to play quarterback. What are you gonna say, Ali?
let's also add to that. There's a difference between Jason Garrett and Andy Reid. I mean, you're talking an all-time.
Ali,
You're talking an all-time great head coach who, I'm gonna be honest, I'll go as far as saying power ranking head coaches, he's number one now in my opinion. I mean, who else are you gonna put? I get for years you had Bill Belichick, but that dynasty's over. It's
not. You know why I backed you up on this one, Ali? Because he's done it with two teams.
exactly.
He's done it with the Eagles, and he's done it with the Chiefs. We've never seen any head coach have that kind of success from one team to the next.
Exactly.
So you're absolutely right there. Hoodlum, we need a sucker like Denver to trade for Dak. Jeez Louise. Ultra Cowboys laughing with them. Denver wanted DQ so bad they chose Nathaniel Hackett the year before. I'm 25. I've never seen a Cowboys Super Bowl. I've never seen the Cowboys get past the second round. Do you know how bad that is? Yes, we know how bad that is.
What's up, Kendall?
Man, Kendall, you should just jump on in with us. Ali.
Absolutely.
Ali is going on. What's up, Kendall? Imagine if Mahomes had CD, Amari, Pollard, Zeke, Gallup, 3 Hall of Fame offense. Come on, the Clay Cup. I mean, Clay Cup.
I'm not gonna say nothing, man.
I mean,
I think Ali already answered it. I mean,
here's the thing though.
they're the best,
There's
man.
a reason Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith his rookie year. So
Ooh.
could we sit here and say Mahomes would have been thrown in the fire right away and have that same type of success without that year? You got to keep in mind too, coming from that Texas Tech offense, that's not an offense that really would prepare a quarterback for the NFL.
Nope. Run the shoe, baby.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's see here. But Andy Reid is a GOAT.
He is.
Ali, get them boys to Dallas, baby. Agree with that. So Hudlum's down with that. It gives you 100. Mike wants into Jerry's office and says, "Look at my finger. Does DQ have a Super Bowl ring as a head coach? If so, he is our guy. He is our guy." Okay, so if Dak was with Chiefs, he would take them there all these years, right? That's click up.
Man, that's
I mean, he had pretty good success with well, no, because Ram told us that Ram did say that Donovan McNabb was a passing quarterback, right?
He was from Syracuse.
But with Donovan McNabb, he still uses legs a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I think he would have had a blueprint to work with the Dak. But that's kind of very hard to say. Oh, that he would have that kind of success.
Look, at the end of the day, Andy Reid can have whatever quarterback, and he'll fit that offense around that quarterback. That's how good Andy Reid is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kendall says Ali was good.
Hey, what's up, Kendall?
You realized it too, man. Clay Cup is on point. That's Ultra Cowboy. Ken Spelt meet and greet at Pat's Cowboys game. I'll be there.
Where is it at? Is it at New England or Dallas?
It's Dallas.
It's in Jerry World.
Yep.
Remember
Adam,
last time we played him?
Yep. Ali, what's your take on Pollard's health, and what do we do with what do we do for that position?
Oh,
Good,
it's a great question. I
right?
mean, look, if he stays on the tag, well, let's start with this. Mike McCarthy said back in March he wants to run the ball. That's the biggest thing he wanted to change, taking over the offense. And also, do we expect Pollard to be getting those 20 plus carries, that workhorse back? I mean, I want you to put it this way: the production he put up last year with less than 200 carries, I think that's impressive. Now Zeke is gone. Pollard's the guy. Obviously, when he went down in that divisional round, the offense wasn't the same. I mean, just the impact I think he has. So, I think if he stays healthy, he's getting his touches. There's no doubt he makes the offense better. And there's no doubt, I think for the last 2 years, he's been the better option, in the backfield. But then also, behind him, you have the guys like Ronald Jones, drafted. I think Cowboy Nation is excited for Deuce Vaughn. I mean, that's a guy that I'm really excited seeing in the backfield this year. But again, kind of going back to the franchise tag, if he's playing on the tag this year, no deal was done. You kind of have to think that, is he going to be back the following season? We know it's a position that teams shy away from paying for some obvious reasons, but if he's playing on the tag, I think the Cowboys are going to make the most of this 1 year they have potentially left with Tony Pollard. So he will get his touches. He will be, I want to say, the center point of the offense, but he'll be leading a lot more than ever. So as long as he stays healthy and he's playing the way we hope he can play and the way he's expected to play, he's going to make this offense a lot better. He's going to make Dak Prescott's life a lot easier. Can definitely help Dak trim down the turnovers, which we know was an issue last season.
Well said, Ali. Well said, man. I think I don't even have to add anything to that, right? Let me see here. Hoodlum says, "Do you think Romo goes to a championship with this team?" Ooh,
Yes. I'm not even gonna explain myself. Yes.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. We need to spend the money on a running back. Clay Cup says. Hoodlum says, "I would love Dalvin Cook. I mean, it looks like he might be a post June 1st cut, unless." I'm just saying, Ultra Cowboy, when Dak drops back, I break out the defibrillator. Adam says, Ali.
Yeah.
All three today. Please come back regular season and chime in. Ali's gonna
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Ali's gonna be a part of the Cowboy Cast. Hey, we're all community. We're all community here, man. Tony Potter's last year. They will draft another in the 4th round. I mean, spend money more on running back and not D Hop. If that's the case, that's the glaring need. If Pollard flops, when Dak drops back, I pull out the blood pressure machine. Jeez Louise, man. Facts, Hillum. Deuce Vaughn and the slot catching passes can be special, man. Hey, he. I'll tell you this much right now. It's crazy that people are already deeming him as the steal of the draft, and a lot of it can be because of his height, right? And we'll see, man. We will see. But let's get to Asim Richards, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just break down a little bio of him, so just so we know, Richards. He's a 3-star. He's a 3-star prospect who he started as a tight end and defensive end at Haverford School in Pennsylvania, even though he's listed as a Philly kid, before signing with North Carolina. And if you remember, North Carolina, they were giving so much praise because they had an astounding what was the word they used? They had a fantastic they brought together a great team, and they were going to be the next NCAA champions, right? But it didn't. I guess it just didn't happen. He played 9 games as a reserve and special teams in 2019, and then moved into the starting lineup for 11 of 12 appearances at left tackle as a sophomore. Richard started all 13 games at left tackle in 2021 and all 14 games at the spot in 2022 to garner 3rd team all ACC accolades. This is by Chad Reuter. Let me go into Lance Zerline. He's NFL Network's. He's one of their scouts there. He says Richards is a thick-hipped and good lower body power, fueling above average drive, a blocking potential. He clears space when he's centered into opponents, but he lacks the body control and hand consistency to do on a regular basis. Pass protection concerns will be diminished when they move inside, but there will still be more needed when it comes to getting his feet in position to slow interior rushers. Richards drives the blocking and potential position versatility. Give him a shot at a backup role with upside. So just so people know, his prospect grade is a 6.15, and a 6.15 from NFL Network is, it says here, is a good backup with the potential to develop into a starter. So before we list his strengths and his weakness, is there anything there that you guys have found out about Asim Richards that you guys want to bring to light?
Well, for me, I think that the thing that stands out most for me is he played 2,500 snaps. That's a lot.
That's a lot, man.
So I think that's the biggest thing that stands out for me. And the Cowboys probably looked at it and said, this guy's played a lot of football. So from what everything you said and the things that I saw, I think that's the biggest thing that stands out for me.
Yeah, no, I can piggyback off that. 34 consecutive starts. I mean, let's put it this way: offensive line is prone to injuries. You know, it's a unit where you need more than 5 guys. You know, it's not just about the starters, but you know, for him to start 34 consecutive games, the durability that stands out to me a lot too. So to have a guy that we know can be available, that alone is huge for this offensive line.
I mean, Ali, Jerry Jones did say the best medicine is availability, right?
Availability.
Absolutely.
That's why we don't see certain players here with the Cowboys anymore. His actual NFL or his draft projection was rounds 4 through 5. His NFL comparison is Zach Fulton, just so you guys know. So let's go ahead and get into some of his strengths. 3-year starter, well-developed lower half, understands where to target hand placement, carves out space with drive blocking power, climbs his combo blocks and adequate timing, fires heavy hands into pass rusher, makes proper adjustments against twisting fronts, and play strength benefits him in the scramble situations and protection. Harv, were you able to see some of his tape personally?
Yeah. So I think so. I like his short set, meaning, you know, when offensive linemen try to do a set on a pass rusher, they like to kind of back up really fast. What he does is he cuts them off. He takes the air from them right away. And when he does do it and he does it well, I mean, nobody can get past him. But he is not consistent with it. That's the issue with it. And I think that can be fixed at the next level with the guys that they have. But if you see the things that he does do and when he does them well, I mean, it's the potential could be really good. But what I like about him, when he does get beat, it's not to the point where you're like, oh my God, that guy's bad. It takes a little bit, you know? So to me, man, I think he's very consistent. I like his fluidity, his footwork, a little concerned, maybe a little bit, but he does have a nasty streak. I like his combination of power and his reach. And again, going back to the 2,500 snaps, that's something that you can't put on somebody. So those are kind of the things that I see.
Let's go into his weaknesses. It says below average body control, hasn't learned to control and sustain his blocks, lacks athleticism to make all the blocks in space, heavy-legged getting around the corner when pulling, below average reactive athleticism and protection, fails to find proper footing to square up bull rushers, might not have the slight quickness to protect outside edge. Ali, have you heard of Duke Manyweather?
I have not actually.
So we've come to because we do a lot of homework and whatnot. So Duke Manyweather's he's actually out of Arlington, man. He's actually out of your area there, and he's the reason we see the success and Cowboys having their offensive line mature into pro ready, so to say. I think he's the one who's been actually working with Terrence Steele this entire offseason to get him back to up to speed, right? Because obviously coming from that knee injury, getting him up to speed and whatnot. But actually, he's the reason why Terrence Steele became a name to reckon with in the actual name. So, my question to you, Ali, is where do you see him fitting in, and do you think he will play anytime this year? Uh, Obviously, we understand, yes, if there's injuries, but I'm saying, do you think that he has that upside to play? And if so, where do you see him playing on the line?
Yeah, I could see him playing this year, just because I know in the past we've relied on late round guys as well. I mean, as you mentioned, Terrence Steele was an undrafted guy, so and look what he's become. Um, but I know started 37 games as a left tackle. He did play one game at guard. I want to point that out just because one game is not a big sample size, but does that mean he has the capability of flipping over to guard as well? Possibly. And I mean, the reason I bring that up is, when I'm looking at this pick, and if I'm taking all of our day 3 picks, I would hope Asim Richards is the one we hit on the most. And that's because a season ago, and I can say this year, yes, the injuries were there in our offensive line. Depth is super important. And I would hope he's the guy that if we do have to call upon his number, I would hope he can be kind of like that 6th man off the bench. So I could see him coming in potentially as a swing tackle if needed to be. I know of Tyron Smith, his injury history. We're covered there with Tyler Smith. But if Terrence Steele goes down, could we rely on a guy like that to step in and fill in the void and help us out? So, no, I could see him playing this season. But, it ultimately comes down to I don't want to say just injuries, but considering where it was last year and how bad our injuries were racking up the offensive line, I think it's going to come down to health. But again, I would hope he is the guy that, steps up the most of all of our day 3 picks, just because I'm not too confident. I'll be honest. I'm not super confident in our depth right now. And like any good starting lineup in basketball, you need a good bench. Like any good starting offensive line, you need guys behind them. So I hope he can be that guy, so we'll see how it plays out. But I'm excited to see what he is going to be capable of doing. I'm going to have people at camp let me know how certain guys are doing. And I definitely, want eyes on him to see how he performs in training camp. But I think if we have him as a solid piece that we can rely on, that's instantly a big hit for the Cowboys there for a late round selection.
What do you think, Harv?
So, I agree for the majority of what Ali said, but I think if you want to put it into the big picture, right? I think last year was a disaster with the offensive line, and we had such a hard time. And I think Mike McCarthy said it well. He said flexibility in the entire interior line is important. And I think if you think about the Asim Richards pick, it's the Tyler Smith of last year, except in the 5th round this year. This guy can play guard. This guy can play left tackle. So if you have 2 players, which in Tyler Smith and you have Asim Richards, and let's not forget about Chuma Edogoba, like he can play tackle too because he played tackle for the Jets. So now you have 3 players that can play guard and can play tackle. Chuma more right tackle, but I'm just saying, why would the Cowboys do that? Because they don't want to get caught again and what happened last year. So I think this is a great opportunity for all those players. So I think if you look at it that way, they had to do their homework and make sure that flexibility was number 1 on their list.
No, perfectly said. And like you said, it was like musical chairs at the end of the season,
Yeah.
And I think I think the one thing that we all understand is that Tyron Smith, I mean, he's done some great things for us here, being a part of, being a legendary Cowboys offensive lineman. But I think the inability the last couple of years, I think, has really tarnished his name. And um, I don't know. It just that's kind of where it's. But if he's healthy, Tyron Smith, left tackle, I think. I mean, I don't. I know Harv is with me on this one. We'll get your take, Ali, right now.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith at left tackle, Tyler at left guard, Tyler Biotish at center, right guard Zach Martin, and of course Terrence Steele right tackle. Ali, if it was a perfect world and they win and they were able to stay healthy all season, is that the lineup you're going with?
I would say so, yes. Especially because we lost Connor McGovern, so someone's got to slide in at left guard, and Tyler Smith is the guy. So but if Tyron, I mean, I hate to say it because you almost expect it at this point, with Tyron Smith going down. I mean, he has not played a full season since 2015, so that says a lot. But I would say that is the starting five we roll with. So I think when the unit's healthy, I think it is a good unit. But again, health, that's what it comes down to.
It always does. Let's get into this. So Adam says going to the Texas game and going to he's gonna go talk to Schultz, right? Dalton Schultz, that is. Hoodlum says I seen a video of Tolbert was cooking Eric Scott. Man, see, people forget Jalen Tolbert was a freaking animal in college, man. Ultra Cowboy says running backs are the team's guinea pigs. Jeez Louise, man. Hoodlum, were you dreaming? That's Ultra Cowboy. Deuce catch radius is around a 4. Oh, come on, man. Come on now. Give Deuce the benefit of the doubt. Deuce plays bigger than what he is, man. Dak, yes, we've seen some overthrows by Dak. And yes, his receivers are 6'2", but come on now, give him a break. He goes, go to the Jalen Tolbert versus Eric Scott Jr., right? Which is the Cowboys. I believe what was he there? What
fifth round pick
was? Oh yeah, right, fifth round pick. My bad. Cowboys have a 3 starting offensive linemen that will be free agents next. We need to develop these young men, right? I like the nickel defensive back idea for Kelvin Joseph. I mean, damn, man. I just think I don't know how much more.
That's definitely a guy that it's make or break. I mean,
well said. Well said. Hudlum says that his favorite pick is Hunter Lupke, right, out of North Dakota State.
I love that dude.
He's a good player, man. Hudlum says mine is Luke Schoonmaker, right? Why prove love Luke so much, man? Hoodlum does not like the second round pick at all. Just so you know, Ali. Great point, Ali. Ultra Cowboy. Hoodlum says people overshown taking Kerr's spot in the future. Love it. Well, I mean,
no, stop. Stop.
He used to play safety, Harv.
I don't care. He ain't taking over Curse, man.
Well, we only have Curse this year, and that's it. With the 32nd pick in the NFL draft, the Cowboys select Cooper Beebe. Is it Beebe? The guard out of Kansas State. I love it, right? Because he's predicting the Super Bowl championship. Tyler is a left tackle. He even said that the Cowboys told them not to worry about playing left guard. Ultra Cowboy, give me a break. Tyler, Forniak, Biadash, Martin, and Steele. When people are going to understand, Tyler is the left tackle. Tyron was the last game he played as a left tackle. So, I think Forniak, a lot of people actually like Forniak at the center position.
Center, yeah.
I think from what Jerry Jones said was Terrence Steele was going to be the guard. And I think Tyron was going to be right tackle and Tyler
right tackle. At this point, man, we could.
The thing is that Coach Mike McCarthy is the coach, and I think he knows that his butt is on the line, not anybody else's. So I'm pretty sure they're going to make the right call in the right time. Tyler is a dog, a mauler. Asim is a teddy bear. Jeez, no, I tell you. Well, that's it for us, man. I mean, we talked about it. Asim Richards, obviously, we like the upside. And what's the one thing that we've always said here?
What do you mean, like as far as offensive linemen?
No, as far as the later round draft picks.
Hey man, to Ron Bland, we got. I mean,
Jake Ferguson,
Jay Ferguson.
Ferguson.
We got some undrafted guys. We got
Ramon
Hendershot,
Clark,
Yeah, I mean, I
and Will
and Will McClay we trust.
Will McClay.
Absolutely.
But hey, we'll see, man. This is gonna be a big year. I think not only in Cowboys Nation, we've been waiting 30 years, but I think I think if anybody really wants this, I think you can hear it. Dak wants this. He really wants to get to Super Bowl. Not only does he want to get there, he wants to win a Super Bowl. And of course, you could tell Mike McCarthy wants it. Dan Quinn wants it. They all want to get that monkey off their back, right? And then Ultra Cowboy says Tyron getting hurt drinking water. Jeez Louise. And that's it for us, man. Remember, if you're watching this on the replay, please subscribe, turn on notifications. We want to say thank you to those who recently subscribed. That you're helping us get this channel growing. We are on the road to 1,000 before the year starts, man. Like I said, if we get to 1K, we're gonna be going live Monday to Thursdays and twice on Sundays, right? Kickoff and post game. But that's it for us, man. Ali, anything you want to chime in on?
No, that's all I got. Really, this was great, man. I appreciate this. I mean, this is a lot of fun, and I hope 6-7 months from now we're doing a show about the Cowboys and the Super Bowl. Let's put it that way.
Yes, sir.
It just feels close.
No, hey Ali, thank you for coming by, man. It was a blast having you on for sure, man.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Appreciate y'all so much.
Yes, sir. All right. Hey, YouTube. We would say TikTok be nice, but we won't. We cannot be back on TikTok officially until I believe tomorrow.
June? Oh, okay.
So TikTokers, if you guys are on TikTok, be nice. YouTube, thank you.